Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of this little Hubbell series video thing. So in the last video I did I reviewed the Hubbell RMA here, and alongside that obscure fixture is its bigger companion right here. So this is the Hubbell RLG. So let's go ahead and look at this fixture.
Alright, so like I had said, this is my Hubbell RLG 400 watt pulse start metal halide fixture. Now this fixture is pretty cool, I'd say, in design. It's a little bit more unique in a sense, as it actually resembles an American Electric 25. It's very boxy and has the refractor at an angle just like it, but it's a lot longer. It does resemble a very basic design shape. As you can see, it is just as square and just as bland as my Hubbell RMA that we just looked at in the previous video. But at the same time, it's not a bad fixture at all. It's very much the same, just a larger version of the Hubbell RMA. That's really it. There's not much to say. We'll definitely go over it in more detail in a moment. But unlike my Hubbell RMA, this fixture didn't come off of eBay. Funny enough, this actually came from a Kmart parking lot, and they did modify, the Kmart did modify this fixture a little bit, but I did manage to get it put back together, and I'll explain what they did just, when we get into the fixture here. And like I had said on the history of these in the first video, these fixtures were mostly used in parking lots. They weren't found very often, if so very rarely, on utilities. These really were just more like commercial style streetlight fixtures. They weren't really popular on streets. They were popular in parking lots. So yeah, this is definitely an example of that right here. But anyway, this fixture right here, I believe, is actually, I think it's dated like 2014 or something. We'll go ahead and look at the stickering on it, as it will definitely really help this time around, as the components in here are original. But yeah, this fixture really isn't that old. Like my Hubbell RMA, this fixture is probably only like 7 or 8 years old, and as of now it's 2022. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's go ahead now and get into it.
So like I said, of course, already, it's very boxy and just very plain simple. There's not really a lot of, design features on here. It's just a very flat, boxy fixture. But it's very nice at the same time, and I actually forgot to mention, I think in the last video, but on the metal on these, it's pretty thin, but it's finished well, and it is really high quality. Now the paint is known to chip, but I haven't seen a lot of these, so I don't really know if that's for sure. But I do like this one. It's finished really nicely, despite it being pretty bland. But yeah, like I said, it looks like an American Electric 25 in a sense, as it's angled very much on the front. And I think they definitely were trying to copy that. Now you got to keep in mind, these fixtures were made in the early 80s. So the American Electric 25 was still around at that time. Very nice. Like the other Hubbell, it has these nice 4 dots on top. I would assume this is for leveling. And if we go back here, we got the photocell. So I have another one of those Fisher Pierce green photocells on here. Just a Suntech. And it's also a newer one. So yeah, pretty cool. I think it goes good with it. And just like my Hubbell RMA, it has the same exact style of photocell socket. The one where you can't really move it. This one's a little bit more broken, and that's because the electricians actually did some modifications to this fixture, so I kind of had to fix it. But this is basically a one-and-done snap-in photocell. Once it's snapped in, you really can't readjust it unless you get inside and undo the securement clamp, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, you can't really move it right now. You can see there was a sticker on here. I think it's a warning sticker of some sort. Unfortunately, it's not really readable, as most of the words are kind of cut off. But yeah, and you can kind of see some remnants of bird poop. That's definitely some parking lot evidence there. And yeah, very simple fixture. Oops, sorry about that blur there just now. very basic fixture, not really a lot going on out here, but I'm gonna go ahead and flip it on its back and we can get started with the inside of the power door here. Now, of course, like I had mentioned in the last video, this with the naming of this fixture, this is the RLG. Now, G stands for glass, and L actually stands for large. So this is Hubbell's largest fixture, as you can see right here. Now, Hubbell never made a 1,000 watt fixture. They made just this medium-sized Cobra head, which they actually call their large fixture, and then that Hubbell RMA, which is just that medium one, which is actually a small fixture. But yeah, let me go ahead now and show you guys how to open up this fixture. So what you want to do is get a little hefty flathead screwdriver here, and to get your door open, you just want to undo this little securement screw right here. So get that off. Oops, I slid. Undo that, and then there's a latch right here. You want to press that latch and then pull it outward, like so. Ooh, that was loud. Before you can take it all the way off, there's a little clip again, just like the other Hubbell fixture we looked at. You want to squeeze those little side clips and it should pull right out. With mine, it's a little bit more stuck. There we go. And then once that's out, you can actually take the whole door off. Just bring it back on the hinge like so, and voila. Of course, since this is a power door style fixture, like the Hubbell RMA, this Hubbell RLG does not have any of the components mounted directly on the top housing of the fixture. So you can see all your wiring here is just kind of doing some random things. So you can see there's just really wiring in here and nothing else. But how this fixture assembly starts out is you got your terminal block here, and I'll go ahead and zoom into that real quick. So just like my Hubbell RMA, this is not the original terminal block. This is a Thomas & Betts terminal block, which surprisingly actually aligns with these two screws perfectly right here. So I went ahead and mounted it in here and made some terminal connections for it. So this isn't the original one, but the actual Hubbell sockets are very strange in design. But yeah, unfortunately mine doesn't have that. But like I said, these are obscure fixtures, so I don't know if I'm ever going to find that piece for it. But yeah, basically with how the plug and assembly work on this fixture is you got your hots that come out and your lamp wires that come out of the front, and they actually go up into this plug here. So now I do actually have this one grounded. As you can see, that nice little green wire right here. I do have this one grounded. My other one isn't grounded just because I didn't have all the right connections to do so. But usually these aren't really grounded, I guess, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, pretty nice clamp, just a simple plastic clip. Pretty cool. Of course, you have your slip fitter on the back. Like the Hubbell RMA that we just looked at, this Hubbell RLG doesn't really have any room for pivoting the fixture up and down. It just has these two nice stainless steel clamps and some nice well-finished brass bolts to, you know, screw it down. So yeah, no room for really any major adjustments there. And then of course here you have your photocell socket. Now, like I had mentioned, and I'm gonna in the last video, and I'll mention it again here, this is a one-time snap photocell socket, and you can kind of see that this one's kind of off. But if I can position it right, there's a kind of a clamp right here. You can see it's actually pushing out as I'm. There we go. See, you can see it locked right on there, and it just clicked just now. To get the photocell back out, you just push down on that, and then there's another one up here. You just push down on that, if I can, there we go, and your photocell releases. So basically this is just, this piece right here is just a static clip to just keep it in place. But yeah, once you have it back out, you know, you can turn it again and stuff. But I don't really like this design too much. It's a little bit hard to work with. But, and especially with this one, since I've already taken it apart, it's actually a lot harder to snap back in. There we go. I'm sorry if I'm bumping the camera there. But yeah, it's very complicated. I'm gonna go in now. Ugh. I will say this is definitely a one and done feature. So yeah, not really the best, but one thing they did at least, I guess, make it so that it'd be a little bit more forgiving. is the fact that they got spade terminals on the bottom of this photocell. And what I want to mention, like I said, this was modified. So the original spades coming out of here, the wires were cut because this Hubbell was actually on a light control. Like I said, it was in a Kmart, so there wasn't a need for photocell sockets. So when they ordered these, they just ordered them with the photocell sockets, and then they cut the wires away because they didn't need it. So this one, luckily with the spade terminals, I was able to put new spaded style wires going to them. You can see there I just unplugged it. So really, really cool. I was able to fix that little issue. So go ahead and plug that back in if I can do it on camera. But yeah, I really do like that, because if you ever need to do any kind of modifying or any repairs in this fixture, having spade terminals here is really nice in case the wires ever burn up. And you know, the photocell doesn't, so it's easy to recrimp some new ones and make connections. So yeah, other than that, yeah, it's like I said, just not much going on here. So yeah, so of course, like I said, you know, I want to look at the date code on here. I think this might be the date code up here. It says 0203. I'm thinking that this is from probably February 2003 for the date code. I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate, but yeah, there really isn't any other information labeled on here. It's pretty bland, unfortunately. So yeah, that's actually in the last video I never showed the sticker, and that's because it was the same way. So it really doesn't show you, for some reason, what all the specs are on here. Now luckily for the power door here, it does at least have what our specs are on here. So what's cool about this this Hubbell RLG is that this one is actually your original pulse start. This one was never gutted and re-retrofitted. All this ballasting in here is original, so I'm really happy to have actually an original pulse start assembly in this. So yeah, it's a little dusty, as you can see. I do need to do some cleaning on it, but for right now it's just kind of hanging out, so I'm not really too worried about it, and it works, so it's not really interfering with anything right now. So yeah, pretty cool. This one actually does have, I think, the specs labeled on it. Maybe. Let's go ahead and look at that without bumping the camera. There we go. You can see it says lamp, 400 watt pulse start, and you can see the lamp type there, the M135/M155. Now, like I said, with in the last video with these pulse start ballasts, it's very commonly a very common mistake is that people will put regular metal halide lamps on these types of fixtures, and you want to make sure you have that specific lamp that it says on that tag, because what can happen is you can either destroy the components on this, or you can actually destroy the lamp. And pulse start lamps don't do it too often, but if you run a regular metal halide lamp on it, you could actually risk making running the bulb to where it could explode. So and it will like literally blow up the whole bulb. So I'm not kidding. Make sure you have the correct lamp for this type of ballasting. Now with HPS, obviously you can put a mercury lamp on it, and it won't, that type of thing won't happen. But with pulse start, you want to make sure you have a specific pulse start M135/M155 lamp for this fixture, as if you put a regular M59 on here, it will probably risk exploding or damaging the ballast. So yeah. Anyway, this assembly right here is a nicer assembly probably than my brand new one in my other Hubbell fixture. So this is an advanced assembly. Of course, with pulse start metal halide, you actually have to have an igniter, and it's like HPS in a sense, as to where the bulb is very cold when it starts, so it needs an igniter to help spark it into action. So yeah, pretty cool. And we can actually read this stickering as well, despite the ballast being a little bit older. So yeah, you can see it says CWA ballast assembly. You can kind of see up here it says 400 watts pulse start metal halide, and you can probably vaguely see that it says 480 volts. Now this is actually wired for 120 volts, and I'll show you in just a second, but there is a 120 volt tap on here. Actually, if we look a little bit more closely at the diagram here, you can actually see, if this will focus, of course. There you go. Okay, so you can see, actually, if we look a little bit more closely at this diagram on here, you can see that 120 volts. So I actually have this wired for 120. I don't know why this is a 480 120 volt ballast. That's a little bit odd. The only time you'd see something like this is for highway standard streetlights, where they, you know, for highway streetlights, they have the 480 tap, so you can hook it up for 480, or for traffic intersections, the state can have it so that where you can use it for 120 if needed. But yeah, this was in a Kmart, so I don't know why the 480 120 requirement is on here, but yeah, pretty odd. If anyone knows the answer as to why that's like that, let me know, because I don't think there is a single Kmart out there that ever had a 120 setup. So yeah, pretty odd. But one thing you'll notice, actually, which is really unique to this fixture, is how the ballast is mounted. There's these big like straps that just go through where the screw holes are on the ballast here. Yeah, just look at that. And they're really thick. They're very high quality. So, very interesting. And one thing to note about Hubbell's fixtures is they made them really easy to retrofit in case you ever need to do any upgrades with this fixture. You can see there's plenty of little screw holes for any, you can kind of see it, additional remounting or reballasting. So yeah, and like my other Hubbell fixture, you can see those I had those nice big brackets mounted on there, and that's just because of all these screw holes that you can see. Now, we couldn't see it on the last one because they were covering it up, but with these little straps here, it kind of helps to show us what that looks like. So if you ever need to do any retrofitting in these fixtures, it's very, 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 very easy. So yeah, pretty awesome. There's not much really to say about this ballast other than its odd voltages that it hooks up to. It's just very standard, stock standard. So yeah. Yeah, and you can see as I flip it over here, you can see the front part, and this one actually has slightly more details. You got some drip holes, and you actually have this square indent section. I don't know actually what that's for, but yeah. You can see the 440p. Usually 400 watts pulse start is usually a striped sticker. Now, I think since this was made pretty early on in its time, I'm guessing that they didn't really have a standard NEMA sticker yet, like a standard sticker, or like a standard for the sticker yet. So they just put 480p. Just, I guess, for the identification. And I wrote on the fixture, just for the heck of it, what type of lamp it requires. And, of course, you can see the Hubbell logo. It is embossed very nicely on there. It's clean and crisp and mold, and I really like that. So, yeah, pretty cool. Right. So just like the Hubbell RMA, to get into the front section of this Hubbell RLG, all you got to do is do this barn-style latch here and just open it up. So hopefully, like the other one, the door won't want to fall off on the cheap bracket. Oh, well, here it just came all the way off anyway. So I'll go ahead and put that aside for a moment, and we can go ahead and look at this front section of this. So going into the front here, you can see the bracket that holds on the front door assembly and to where the ballast assembly door screws onto. It's a really nice thick piece of steel style metal. Now the hook styles though are not very good, as the door kind of comes off pretty easily, so I'm not a huge fan of that. But yeah, you guys already kind of know my thoughts on that probably by now, so I won't say much more. You got a little heat shield type thing here, just like the Hubbell RMA. It's not the same exact brown style cardboard, it's more like a postcard material. But yeah, I'm a little shocked they put this in here, because if this fixture is up for more than 30 years, that could actually somehow get ripped out if birds and stuff ever got in here. So yeah, I don't know if I like that too much, but since this fixture is still pretty new, I'm not going to worry about that right now. So yeah, and here is the front reflector assembly. So you can see it's pretty simple, just a pressed aluminum reflector, and it has those same exact style patterns in it to help with light distribution. Now, like the Hubbell RMA, I have a problem with this fixture as well, and it's the socket for the lamp. So let me bring over the lamp I'm going to be running in this fixture. It's another plus right pulse start lamp, and we will take a little bit of a closer look at that in a second. But let me go ahead and show you a problem I have with these fixtures. And this isn't something Hubbell just did. This is something GE did as well. But yeah, so let's go ahead and screw it in. I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about. This reflector is also screwed in as well down here. The screw's loose on, I'll have to adjust that, but yeah. So, to adjust your socket for light distribution, all you gotta do is undo the screw here, which this one's a little tighter. There we go. And to position your bulb, all you gotta do is slide it either forward or back. Now, as you can see, I'm sliding it towards the back of the reflector. I'm gonna get myself some more wire here. There we go. So here it is, butted up against the the frickin' reflector here. So now I do realize that there are pulse start lamps that are the cram style lamps that are really a lot smaller, but if you're going to put this kind of lamp in here, it really doesn't work, because for the type of for the reflector that needs to go in here, it's a two-way, so it needs to aim the light forward. But when you got the arc tube all the way in the back, which is basically your light source, you're not going to get proper light distribution. So this is really flawed right here, and I don't like this at all. I hate it. But yeah, I guess the best thing to do if you want to have good light distribution coming out of this thing, I'd say just push it all the way back past the 1 here, and they don't even have a 3 on this like the RMA, so kind of dumb anyway, again, just that they even have this at all. So yeah, I don't like that the socket is mounted inside the reflector. I much prefer the ones that peer into it with the hole. I don't know why they even bother doing this at all. I think it's just a cheaper way to assemble this. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all. The reflector's nice. Like I said, it's just a really nice finished aluminum press. And this one also has the felt gasket. And this one's kind of wiggly and kind of falling off a slight bit, but it's not really bad. But yeah, I don't like this socket terminal here, so not a big fan of that. But in general, as I'm sure you guys probably know by now, I'm not really a fan of having adjustments on light fixtures anyway, as I feel like the light should always be directly in the middle for the best light distribution. But yeah, anyway, so it is a little bit big on camera, but here is the front door section. Again, it's just, you know, pretty standard, just metal angled design, really. Nothing special going on at all. In your reflector, to get your reflector out, you got these 2 slider tabs here. And all you got to do to get them out is just take some pliers, because they're hex bolts that don't have threads on them to put a regular screwdriver on. All you got to do is loosen it up a slight bit, and then those will come out. So yeah. And then with that, you can slide the reflector out. It's a little awkward on this fixture. And here we go. Here is the glass refractor. Now, this thing is kind of a blessing and a curse in a way. And the reason why I say that is because this glass, in a good way, is actually unique to this fixture. Now, this is a compatible glass with Line Materials, American Electric, and Pemco. But at the same time, it is its own unique design, and it's made by Hubbell. It's a really unique design, but unfortunately, since this is a newer fixture, this glass is finished very badly. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see all sorts of little wrinkles and cracks. Now, I don't know if the older Hubbells from the 80s had better glass, but this glass is not high quality at all, which is sad because this is a very unique pattern. The actual design itself is cool, like the bead patterns, the shape is unique, and it actually looks good for on the Hubbell just in general. But yeah, the glass quality is very bad, and I don't like it at all. It's kind of, it does look clear on camera, but if you look at it in real life, you can tell it's not clear, and it's really just clear because the designs are really basic. There's not a lot of really complex designs on here. So yeah, there's not a lot going on in the room, but you can see it says Hubbell, and then you got the model type,
And then if we spin it around there, you can see it says Holophane, the model number, Enduro, or Dural, whatever that says. Yeah, no logos on it, just a very blank standard design glass with a unique shape. So yeah. Anyway, so let me go ahead and put this back together, and I'll show you guys the lamp real quick that I'm going to be running in this thing. So I'm going to grab this out real quick, and I'll show you guys what this lamp is. So this is a Plus Right bulb, as you can see on the box here. Went ahead and bought this off of 1000 Bulbs, a really good website for getting older style HID bulbs and ballasting. So yeah, this is a really nice bulb by them, and you can see it says Plus Right 400 watts M135. So like I said, that reading needs to be the same as on the ballast. And like I had mentioned as well, these can be pretty prone to exploding. So I got the one with the arc tube, and I will warn people, if you're not using these in streetlights, be very careful if you don't have that protective tube, as these bulbs can literally blow up, like completely. The arc tube can blow out and actually blow the whole outer coating of the bulb up. So just a little bit of a warning for you guys if you're not running these in streetlights. And just an open air, but yeah, pretty nice lamp. So I'm going to go ahead and run this lamp on this fixture. Alright, so I got the Hubbell RLG set up. So let me go ahead and shut the lights off real fast, and we can go ahead and watch this warm up. Alright, this is my mid-2010 Hubbell RLG 400 watt pulse start metal halide in 1, 2, 3. Wow. I really love how fast it ignites those lamps. This one is maybe slightly a bit more loud or noisier than my RMA, but this ballasting has been used a little bit longer, so yeah, it's not going to be super quiet, brand new, but yeah. And the camera's not focusing again, just like the last video, so maybe that's not the lamp. But anyway, let's go ahead and watch it warm up. Alright, we are at full brightness. Now this pulse start stuff just loves to start up so fast. It really didn't take long for this fixture to start up. But yeah, pretty cool. I do like pulse start actually. I would say it's definitely my second favorite other than just mercury vapor, just because of how efficient it really is. But yeah, let me go ahead and just turn on its side, and you can see, whew, really bright. And since it's pulse start metal halide, it gives off such a clean, pure white light, unlike mercury vapor. I'll just kind of lift it up on the ceiling and see it's a nice tan color light. And the camera does not deceive the actual light it gives off. Like with mercury vapor, it always shows it as a green light, even though you don't see it directly from your eyes. But metal halide, pulse start metal halide, does not deceive the camera at all. The light you are seeing on camera is exactly what is shown in real life, other than maybe the sine waves that you're seeing a little bit there. But yeah, pretty cool. You can see again, it's just, you know, pretty basic fixture, but pretty cool. We'll go ahead and look at the glass. Since the glass is a little bit foggier on this one, you really can't see the lamp in there, so that kind of sucks. So darn you, Hubbell, for making such a unique piece of glass so low quality. But that's okay, I guess. Can't be perfect. Yeah, pretty cool. Just kind of pretend the wrinkles aren't there. Really nice. You can kind of get a little bit of a view of the rest of the fixture. I put some tape on the photocell. I noticed it. Sometimes the light makes them go off. Yeah, really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it now. Alright,
well, that concludes... Alright, so that concludes part 2 of my Hubbell R series video. And yeah, that was basically the Hubbell RLG right there that you guys, you know, just looked at. And again, these fixtures, as obscure as they are, they're really not super complex. They're just very simple design fixtures. But other than that, they weren't too bad, and I was definitely happy to review these fixtures with you guys. They are pretty nice, really. They're not really bad modern fixtures. I'd say actually Hubbell was probably the best manufacturer, modern manufacturer to make HID lighting. American Electric and Cooper really just made low quality fixtures, and they still kind of do as of 2022 because they still make stuff. They really are not as nice as Hubbell, and I will say Hubbell definitely did a pretty good job at making modern style fixtures. Even though these did come out early on, continuing into the 20th century, I'd say they've done a really good job at keeping these fixtures pretty consistent, other than maybe GE. GE definitely did a little bit better. But yeah, I really do like these fixtures, and I'll definitely keep them in my collection. I'm also very happy to know that they're both brown, I guess, so pretty nice. Anyway, I guess if you guys know anything about these fixtures that I haven't mentioned in both of my videos, please let me know down in the comments below. And I'd be interested in knowing what you guys actually think of these fixtures as a whole. Do you guys think these Hubbell fixtures really are super cool? Or do you guys think they're not really so cool after all? So I'd be interested in hearing your guys' opinions. And of course, if you like this video, please drop a like down below and subscribe for more streetlight videos and traffic signal videos if you'd like to see more soon, so you guys can get that little notification. So yeah, I'm really happy I was able to review these two fixtures for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.